Welcome to the Boxing Talk Show.
Fair but firm.
With the Hall of Fame boxing referee.
I'm Joe Cortez.
And co-host John Zamel for all of Las Vegas.
Come on, guys. Let's touch them up. Tree fight. I'm Joe Cortez. Fair but firm. Welcome to the Fair but Firm show here with Joe Cortez and my co-host John Zimmel. Here in Las Vegas, again, the boxing capital of the world. However, there is no boxing here other than a small promotional card tonight in Samstown with Floyd Mayweather Promotions.
Yes, sir.
But we also have a big fight coming from Madison Square Garden. Danny Jacobs fighting.
Yes, Sergey Derevyanchenko.
I'll let you say the last name because it's a hell of a long name for me.
It's a
like
tough one, man.
It's like the whole alphabet in his name.
It's a tough one, man. Some of these names now.
Anyway,
we like the globalization of boxing, but now the names we take a whole class just on how to pronounce these names.
I tell you, man. I was not the best when it came to speeches and pronunciations and dictions. Like my friend Jackie, one of my directors back in New York, says, "Joe, we got to practice on that diction because your Spanish is all mixed up in with the English." I said, ¿Qué pasa? I don't care. No me importa nada. I don't care. Anyway, the thing is that Danny Jacobs is fighting tonight for the IBF vacant middleweight championship.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I can tell you about Danny Jacobs, not only is he an inspiration to so many folks out there, the man is a cancer survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And I met him when he was a young teenager, about 16, 17 years of age, out in Oxnard, California, when he was fighting for the National Police Athletic League Championships. And I remember him fighting that afternoon, and I was out there to help out with the youth programs in California that weekend. And my friend Chris Eaton, who was the one who invited me out there, he told me, "Joe, you got to come out here. Everybody wants to talk with you." So I felt a good place to go was the Police Athletic League boxing program. Danny Jacobs, I met him laying down on top of a pool table, getting stitched up after the fight. He got cut. And I walked into this back room. They had a pool table in the recreation area. They didn't have a place to sew him up. The doctor was sewing on top of the pool table. I walked in there. I said, "What the heck is going on there? I'm ready to play a pool game." I thought there was a pool stick in there. It was Danny Jacobs.
Danny Jacobs instead.
It was Danny Jacobs instead. Anyway, the thing is that I met Danny Jacobs when he won the middleweight championship in New York a couple of years back. And he told me, "Mr. Cortez," this is the next day in the lobby, he said, "Mr. Cortez, I want to just tell you that I congratulate first. Congratulations on your win last night." He said, "I want to tell you, Mr. Cortez, I know you remember, but I'm the fighter that you met in Oxnard, California, and I was laying on top of that pool table when they was stitching me up." I said, "That was you?" He said, "That was me, Mr. Cortez." I said, "Wow, man, well, congratulations. You're a good fighter." Man. Anyway, he is a great fighter.
He is. What a journey he's had since that pool table, man. Yeah. This guy has battled a rare form of bone cancer, come back, and not just survived. He's not just a cancer survivor. He's now, battling again for a middleweight championship. And this is a big deal. Let's talk about, we had two belts change hands in the middleweight division last week with, Demetrius Andrade and Ryota Murata giving up his belt. We had the WBA regular belt fighting at home, and we had the WBO middleweight belt fighting at home. And this is important because the highest paid athlete in the entire world is a middleweight prize fighter.
Yeah.
And so these guys, this is a big deal. If you get one of these belts and an opportunity for him to unify, then you got yourself a solid payday. Both these guys are fighting for a lot tonight, and it's no pushover. This is a lot of people consider this a 50-50 call, and that's saying something. You might not have heard the name Derevyanchenko, but just know the people that have remember it because he's good.
Yeah, no question about it. And Danny Jacobs, fighting in the middleweight division, of course, you got Canelo Alvarez,
yes,
which is a high-paid athlete you just mentioned.
Yes, sir.
The guy just signed, Canelo Alvarez signed a $365 million deal.
That's a big one, man.
With
Dazin.
Dazin. And Dazin, they're just coming out of nowhere, and they're coming up offering $365 million.
Yeah, bro.
I hope that they can live up to that contract with Canelo.
Yeah.
But that was big bucks. You're talking about over $30 million per fight that the deal he's going to have. But anyway, it's just funny how The divisions are just popping up all over. The welterweight division is the hottest division out there, but now you see the middleweight
Middleweight's
division.
right there, man. You know, we've been saying that for a long time, but
Yes.
middleweight's right there. I mean, look at the Charlo brothers are co-headlining a big event
That's it.
in Barclays Center on December 22nd.
Yeah.
They're one of them is a middleweight. He's great. I mean, you got obviously Danny Jacobs. You got Triple G, who's one of the most recognized boxers on the planet right now. You obviously have Canelo Alvarez, the biggest draw in the sport and the highest paid athlete in the world. You have, I mean, you know, there's a bunch of guys in that division where you know, they play Billy Joe Saunders, a lot of
Yeah,
these
yeah, I
dudes.
like that. And you know what? I may be coming back, and
coming back middleweight?
I'll be fighting out that white 160 pounders, of course, man. I still got a little spark of the old flash.
Yeah, you probably do. Yeah, you do. Middleweight.
Anyway,
That's great.
but I can tell you, over the end of December, we also have that Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury. That's going to be a good fight out December 1st.
You see Tyson Fury sparring? You're hitting the mitts, and he looks fast, man. He looks really, really fast
Well,
right now.
I hope his chin is solid.
Me too, because you need that when you fight Deontay Wilder.
But Deontay Wilder, he's so hard that you got to see what if Tyson Fury could withstand his punches. Now Tyson Fury has not fought a fighter of the. He fought skillful fighters, but he has not fought a fighter with the punching power that Deontay Wilder has.
No one. I mean, very few people have, man.
Deontay Wilder can put a hole through that wall like nothing, you know. And I wouldn't want to get hit by the guy with Wilder, you know. I mean,
Deontay Wilder is one of the hardest punchers. I mean, the heavyweight division history. He's up. He's in the conversation. I mean, which is, you know, and the only reason why you say that is because this is a guy who, like we said, 40-0 with 39 knockouts. He's knocked out everybody he's ever faced, and he's skill wise, you wouldn't even have him in the top 100 heavyweights ever. But I mean, as far as his record goes and his resume and a lot of other things, he's starting to build himself an all-time great resume right now, and he's doing it just on the back of that huge right hand.
Yeah, one of the things also, we can't forget Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, I mean, people said, don't get up to go to the restaurant, don't get up for a beer during the fight because you come back, the fight is probably over, which happened many times.
You don't blink.
I mean, Mike Tyson was a devastating fighter. I mean,
Absolutely.
I refereed him 9 times on 9 occasions, and I can tell you every one of those fights ended up almost like in a 1 or 2 round knockout.
Oh, yeah.
With the exception when he fought, what's the name? James Quick Tillis. For the first time, he went the distance with James Quick Tillis.
That's right.
After 50 straight knockouts. But here we're talking about Deontay Wilder, who has already 39 straight knockout. Well
39 of 40, yeah.
Yeah, 39 of 40, yeah.
But you know what? That's a cool thing. The fun thing about Deontay Wilder to me is he could lose anytime too. You know, his mechanics are so all over the place. But there's no guarantee that he's going to win every fight. You literally can't blink during a Deontay Wilder fight, especially against someone with the caliber, of caliber opponent like a Tyson Fury. At any point, Tyson Fury could just start pounding and finding his weak spots and start exploiting them, or Deontay Wilder could find that chin, and then it's over. It's just any second. You literally can't get up. Don't get a drink. Don't get anything. Just stay with your eyes fixed.
Okay.
That's what happened with Luis Ortiz, man. I took my eyes off the fight for 1 second. All of a sudden, Wilder was almost down.
In the 7th round. Going down to the lighter division, going back now, we're talking about Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence.
That's crazy.
I mean, these are 2 fighters in their prime.
Yes.
You know, and
two top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in their prime.
I mean, in their prime. I mean, Errol Spence
Spence might be the baddest man in the toughest division in the world.
He may be, but he hasn't been put up against a guy with Mikey Garcia's talent.
But Mikey Garcia's never fought at 147.
Yeah.
He fought at 140 and looked kind of big at it. I mean, this is I can't think of another time where a guy. I mean, they want to compare this to when Amir Khan fought Canelo or when Kell Brook fought Triple G, and other times where guys went up like 2 weight classes or Rigondeaux fought Lomachenko. But in all those situations, it was a lower rated pound for pound fighter going up 2 divisions to fight a higher rated pound for pound fighter. That's not the case in this one. It's the other way around. The higher ranked pound for pound fighter is going up 2 divisions to fight the baddest man in that division. It's an insane situation, man.
Hey, John, we got so much to talk about.
I know.
We got so much in the package today.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go to a brief commercial. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Fair Firm Show here with Joe Cortez and John Zimmer.
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
a little sunny out here today.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know, I feel like maybe we go to the beach. It's so pretty, but there's no beaches. There's no beaches out in the desert, and we're lucky we find some pools around here.
We got some mirages, though. You know what I mean? We get some oases.
Hey, I'll take that right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, listen. So talking about that welterweight division, and Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence is going to be one of the top fights of the year.
Oh yeah, it's going to come right in that first quarter area of next year. How do you? I mean, they say that this isn't a super fight. because so many people really don't think that Mikey Garcia has a chance. But what does this say? Even if he loses, right? Let's say he gets stopped in the 8th, right? Because Errol Spence has just got too much power and he's too big. This doesn't look bad for Mikey Garcia, right?
No,
I mean, this is a win-win for him.
I mean, come on, he's been unified. He's been unified champion at lightweight.
Yeah.
I mean, super featherweight, lightweight, and now welterweight.
Yeah, no, right under welterweight, light welterweight.
Junior welterweight.
Yes, sir, junior.
So now he's 3-time world champion, unified champion. I mean, if he loses, you know what? Big deal, I mean,
and if he wins, he just went up and fought the baddest man that even welterweights are afraid to touch.
I mean, some of the great ones have lost and come back. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson.
There's nothing wrong with the L.
So look, even Canelo Alvarez, when he lost to Triple G about 4 years ago, it was a learning, not Triple G, when he lost to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a learning experience. He lost, but he learned so much, he gained so much. And now he's the highest paid athlete of any sport in the history of boxing. And a $365 million deal.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we keep saying it because it's crazy.
So there's so much. So if Mikey Garcia was to lose to Earl Spence, big deal,
Big deal, yeah.
It's a big money paycheck coming back.
But you know what? This is
rematch.
what we want to see. I want to applaud Mikey Garcia over and over and over again because how many people are afraid, and genuinely, it won't even say Errol Spence's name. He's like the actual boogeyman. They won't speak his name. Keith Thurman won't say his name. The Sean Porter won't say his name. None of these guys will say his name. Terrence Crawford won't say his name. No welterweights. And then guess what? A guy 2 divisions down says, I'll come up and fight you and have some fun. And he's a guy who's in the top 5, who's the top 5 pound for pounder.
Well,
that makes it so much fun.
Well, even me, I'm coming back for
you
these
coming
guys.
back for this?
I'm coming back. So why not?
Spence?
If they're coming back, hey, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight Mike Tyson. Talking about Mike Tyson, they got all over YouTube. Mike Tyson knocks out Joe Cortez. Hey, guys, I was never a heavyweight. I was not even a welterweight. I was not even a lightweight. I was a featherweight. So all that bogus stuff you see on FaceTime or Facebook, you see YouTube, it says Mike Tyson knocks out Joe Cortez. It got hundreds of thousands of hits. People hoping that maybe it was me, but it was not me, guys.
My favorite one is the one that has Tyson fighting Butterbean, and you're in the middle of it.
Oh,
it's like the best best knockouts. It's got millions of views.
Yeah, but
and they never fought. And if they did, you weren't the ref on it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They must have chose somebody else.
They would have thrown somebody there with some name recognition, I guess. But they could put in Kenny Bayless or Russell Mora or Benji Esteves in there.
Any of those guys.
Joe Cortez, I've been retired, guys. Leave me alone. I would have made a comeback as a fighter. Not as a ref.
You should make a comeback as a fighter. Speaking of comebacks, speaking of times past though, we got one. This fight does signify one thing big. This is the last big fight ever on HBO, and HBO Boxing has been a fixture in this sport for,
45
a very
years.
long time. Yes, sir. 45 years. I mean, when you hear Lampley's voice or Larry Merchant's voice, it takes you back to some of the most iconic moments in the sport's history. And being that you've been involved in this sport as much as anybody ever, literally, I wanted to hear your take on it. I mean, is it bittersweet? Is it? I mean, obviously, boxing's still thriving. We just talked about Canelo's new deal, and it's moving more to subscription models and non-pay-per-view, and that might be better for the sport.
Well, let me tell you, I started out as a referee in '77, and of course, that was when
1977.
Yeah, 1977, okay. And that's when HBO was just come up. They were the new names in boxing. HBO, it's like PBC.
Guns,
But they were young into the sport. HBO. And it was an honor for me to be refereeing the fights on HBO because that was any referee's dream is to do a fight on TV. Never mind TV, but HBO, wow.
Yeah, it's not regular TV, it's HBO.
And it's sad to see them go because so many a lot of subscribers today in boxing have signed up with HBO just because of the fights.
Yeah.
Now that they're out of the picture just about, a lot of fans say, I'm gonna cut off my subscription with HBO. I want to not go to Showtime.
Or DAZN or ESPN Plus.
Yeah, but
I think we're going more
ESPN Plus is the best.
There he is, company man.
Yeah.
You heard him.
Hey, ESPN Plus, you got for $4.99 a month. $4.99 a month, you can watch not only boxing, but all sports.
Everything. Kobe Bryant shows on.
Oh, my God. Talking about sports. Last night, guys, the Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox. What a game. 18 innings. Wow.
Crazy.
I mean, I was asleep. I was nodding. That game went into over 6 hours.
Imagine in Boston, it was like 3:40
in the morning. I mean, the people that had to get up
for them to lose.
The people
had to stay until 4 a.m. to watch the team lose.
Not only that, I feel sorry for those that had to go to work 3 hours after the game.
Yeah, 3 hours after the game.
I bet you the jobs today in Boston, all these employers must be pissed because
everybody showed up late,
nobody,
tired, and hungover,
probably don't even show up.
angry. Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, you lose a game.
Oh my God, that's what I mean. At least for a win, it's worth it. It's worth it staying up till 4 for a win. Yeah, man, that was a good game though.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to the boxing, our real talk show is about fights, the fight game.
The fight game, baby. I love that. Hey, man, I'll tell you something. But yeah, HBO Boxing has had some of the most iconic. I mean, you look at the greatest fights ever. Hagler-Hearns was an HBO fight. You look at Kevin Kelly versus Prince Nassim Ahmed. That was an HBO fight. These are some fights that if you were to show boxing to aliens, you would show them 5 fights. 3 of them would be HBO fights. I promise you.
When George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore.
Yes, sir.
I refereed that fight. That was on HBO Live. And the fans, Jim Lampley, and they were all like, everybody was so emotionally enjoying that devastating knockout punch that was heard around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Just because George Foreman, loved by everyone, 45 years of age, knocks out a young heavyweight champion.
Yes.
And Foreman just looks up to the sky after I counted 10.
He just like walked into
when
it.
I said 8, 9, 10, I looked at Foreman. He just dropped to his knees and looked up like, God, thank you so much. A punch heard around the world. That was one of the highlights on HBO.
Yeah, is that a highlight of your career?
No, not the highlight of my career.
No, but is it a highlight?
It was one of the most memorable fights of my career. And but I could tell you that HBO has done so much for boxing, and I hate to see them go. But there's rumors that they're probably thinking about it, maybe coming back sooner than what we expect.
Really?
Because
that would be forget everything we just said, folks.
But that's the truth. You could be looking for a way out. Maybe they went over their budget or whatever. They can't make it. You're not going to walk away if you're making money.
No, I agree.
So obviously they are losing money, so they're going to walk away. But now they probably some other folks are coming and say, listen, we want to keep funding this program, but keep it going, and that's what may happen.
Well, they're falling behind, because they're losing Canelo, and then eventually they're going to lose Triple G, and they're going to lose everybody else that's on that's signed to HBO is eventually going to walk, because what else are they supposed to do?
Yeah, but I think if you have talent, a lot of these guys, if you have talent, you got it. Knock on the door will open. Mm-hmm. There is talent out there, guys. We're going to go into a little brief commercial right now. We'll be right back to wrap it up with some more highlights in boxing.
I am.
Welcome back again to the Favorite Firm Show here with Joe Cortez and my co-host John Zimmel. Mm-hmm. So, John, we were in a role there talking about all these fights that are coming up, and HBO.
Oh yeah,
shutting the doors on us with no more fights.
Yeah,
this fight tonight with Danny Jacobs, and
we got one follow. We got the Dimitri Bivol fight, which is a name that most of you don't know, and most of you might not ever. Yeah. So this is the last bit, and not in a bad way. It's just he's not a very high profile fighter. So this is the last very high profile fight that we may ever see under the HBO Boxing moniker, and that's it's a big deal, especially to us. We've been through, how many great wars, how many great challenges, especially you, who's been involved. Obviously intimately. It's
well, I'll tell you that I feel that the fans are gonna be missing out on HBO, but I know the other networks are gonna pick up the
slack, and they have been. Look at
they're gonna keep up.
Let's just, let's just make sure that we recognize, because I think a lot of people think this is really bad news, HBO getting out of the boxing game. No, HBO just got bought by Time Warner, and Time Warner decided that their HBO section is going to be devoted more to being like Netflix. They're going to put their money where, Game of Thrones is coming from, where a lot of these streaming services with a lot of TV shows, and they're walking away from the fight game. But this isn't bad news for the fight game. Showtime just signed a great big deal. Fox just signed a great big deal. ESPN just signed a great big deal. DAZN just signed a bunch of great big deals. Boxing is thriving and enormous right now. It's just HBO under their new, Time Warner bosses decided that boxing wasn't in their best financial interest. But that's not an indictment on the fight game at the moment. If anything, the fight game is bigger than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that HBO, maybe instead of walking away this year, say, let's go down to a lower level, start with the HBO After Dark.
After Darks, like they used to.
Yeah, and do the smaller fights.
Without having to do the Triple G Canelos and stuff.
Yeah, because when you start doing the smaller fights, the young fighters get to become household names, and you develop them into a nice, high-profile talent. Right now, they're like in the farm league, and let them win, let them fight.
Yeah, I get that.
But that's the way I think HBO should come back.
I wonder, do they? Because they HBO Boxing is a part of HBO Sports. You think HBO Sports is still thriving? Or is it just boxing that's getting away from it?
I think it's just the boxing, but I think they're going to reshuffle the deck and come back and say, what, we have this is what we're going to do for next spring.
Yeah, they might. They should. Yeah, but they're just, like I said, they're just figuring some stuff out, And they're not sure what they're doing with anything.
Exactly, and especially me making a comeback in boxing. I think
that would be a big deal. That'd be a big draw. How could they not?
HBO brings back Joe Cortez and his comeback into boxing. I mean, I want to kick some butt out
Joe
there,
Cortez
guys.
has called out every fighter of the
Anyway,
game
listen,
today.
for my young age, I still got a little fire in the belly. I
Don't you ever,
want to
man.
keep going. But anyway, listen, next Saturday night here in Las Vegas, at the Plaza Hotel, you got Fernando Vargas Fighting Foundation. They're going to have a battle of the badge. There'll be individuals fighting to generate some funds for the youth program, Fernando Vargas boxing program. And we're going to be going to that event as well. I got me a nice table for all of us to go, and there's some friends that we're going to have a good time watching Fernando Vargas' boxing team and his fighters. And I take my hat off to Fernando Vargas, who I had the honor of refereeing on many occasions, and one of them was with Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, one of the more iconic fights of my youth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I take my hat off to Fernando Vargas for being such a kind-hearted individual to give back to the community.
Oh, he's been great, man.
And he has a great gym here in North Las Vegas. And so don't forget, next Saturday at 5 p.m. at the Plaza Hotel. Come and get your tickets. They're $50 a ticket. And if you want to donate more, you can, because they can surely use the money to help out the program. I've been helping them out for a number of years. I've been able to help them out with some nice equipment for the gym. And I love Fernando for the reason more than not just being a fighter, but the kind of person he is, him and his wife and his children. Especially he has a young fighter there who's like a 2-time national amateur champion. So I think they're on the right track. So give your support to Fernando Vargas next Saturday at the Plaza Hotel at 5 p.m.
That sounded good, man. That was great. And by the way, his fight with Oscar De La Hoya, I grew up in a family that was, we worshipped Oscar De La Hoya. We still have 10 of his posters on my parents' walls that they still have. That was the only fight I ever saw that I didn't root for De La Hoya in the moment. And obviously, I was let down. But Fernando Vargas, he made me a fan. I was like, you know what? As much as I like De La Hoya, I was like, I think Fernando Vargas is going to get him. He didn't. But
I stopped it in the 11th round.
Yeah, exactly. I remember.
Yeah. But anyway,
my mom still rubs it in.
That Fernando Vargas Fighters Foundation is a 501c3 group, so that you can write it off on your taxes. Please help them out, because they are so well loved in the community, especially Fernando and his family. I mean, they're the best. You got to meet these guys. You say, oh my God, that guy, the fighter that he was in the ring, yet he's like a little angel outside the ring. He's a sweetheart. Yeah. Anyway, John, let's go back before we wrap it up. Let's talk a little bit about the Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, we talk about the actual specifics of the fight, man.
But him being a bone cancer survivor, he's such an inspiration to so many folks out there, because he has just, somebody else would have probably walked away and said, he would have gotten so discouraged because he came down with cancer.
Too easy.
Cancer can defeat a lot of people, but Danny Jacobs says, I'm going to defeat cancer.
He didn't just beat cancer. Then he came back, and now he's fighting for another middleweight title.
He became middleweight champion of the world.
Yes, after fighting cancer for 2 years.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one thing to walk away for 2 years because you're Tyson Fury and you're on drugs, or 2 years because you're Mikey Garcia and you don't get along with your promoter. But and it's hard to come back from both those. So you come back from 2 years of cancer. I mean, that's just, think about what that's doing to your body.
The man is really a champion.
Yeah, they call him the Miracle Man for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Eddie Hearns has done a great job of promoting him, and he will continue to do a great job.
Yeah.
He's been great for
Yeah. I think he's gonna hopefully that he wins a championship tonight.
You think? Yeah.
I would like to see him, because
there you go.
He deserves it. His only loss was to
Triple G, and a lot of people feel like he won that fight.
Yeah, a lot of people thought he won that fight, and I think that he's so much deserving of getting a title back. Mm-hmm. And then I could see him and Canelo Alvarez.
That'd be a big Dazn splash.
I mean, if Danny Jacobs wins the championship tonight, which I think he will, I'd like to see him and Canelo fight next year.
There you hear it. Heard it here first.
To try to unify the middleweight championship.
I like unified belts, man.
Anyway, fans out there, we love you guys. Again, John, Zimmel, myself, we're wishing you guys the best ever. And our fans out there, we love you guys. Thanks to Charlie and Dylan and Jackie Backies, our team of knockout artists. We are undisputed champions of the world. God bless you. Protect yourselves at all times. I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up.